Survival YouTube. Yep, we're on the road again. And hopefully you can hear okay. I'll try to speak louder. Someone asked if I could wear a headset. No, there's no connections into the camera from the headset. I'm using a camera, not a phone, to do the videos. So, again, welcome. If you have not subscribed to our channel, please consider doing so to help us grow. Share the video if you like it. If you do like it, please reach up and hit like, and again, subscribe. Leave a comment if you desire, and I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. This video is titled, "They called 911 and no one responded. Why this should matter to you." So, first let's travel to half a world away, and to the conflict in Israel. And as many of you know, one of the steps that I recommend that everyone does is that you do a weekly or monthly threat matrix of the world. That is, identifying the top 5 threats globally, nationally, and in your community or your 5-mile radius. So on the night that the event happened, when Israel was attacked, we're talking about the nation with the world's best intelligence service, and their security in their country is driven by the threat information that they have. And as I said in an earlier video, the events that occurred that night indicated a colossal failure. It was a total breakdown, allowing events to occur that happened without early warning, and the threats penetrated their security in depth. Okay? And why this should matter to you. Some of the first citizens that were attacked in their homes on the night of the event picked up their phone and they called the Israeli version of 911. No one responded. No one responded. Did you get that? They called 911 and there was no response for 4 hours. In my first book, in the early section of it, I talked about how in the reality of things you don't matter. It's not personal. Okay? All elements of responses have checklists, and they have pre-identified during a response what are the top priorities for the response to go to defend and protect. And typically it's critical infrastructure. Things that are assessed as being critical for the town, the city, or the country. This could be communications, hospitals, water, power stations, first responder stations, and things of that nature. We the people are low on that priority list. Okay? And because of this radius is to take your personal area of operations and then expand it by adding new members that stretches out the security in depth posture, because you're trying to push the threat further away from your home. So from your area of operations, we want to expand it out to our 5-mile radius. This means adding new members in the community. It may be a second team, a third team. It may be teams in other counties. But your goal is to push your security in depth out as far as you can push it. It would be better to be alerted from 10 miles away that a threat is in the area or coming towards you, versus it pulling into your driveway at 3 a.m. and knocking on your door or breaking into your home. Okay? And the correct way to do this that we've been teaching, I can't go into great detail here because of time it would take, but basically you're assessing numerous things in your area of operations or within your 5-mile radius. You're looking at terrain, you're looking at communications, you're looking at water, you're looking at available security, you're looking at your law enforcement, military, you're looking at different religions within your area, you're looking at available resources from stores and fuel and pharmaceuticals, what's available, you're looking at your populace and what makes up your populace, you're looking at education, you're looking at transportation, you're looking at all these different areas. Okay, and you're assessing them and you're taking all this information at the end. And again, once you assess these things, this is an evergreen process that you should continually monitor and assess them to see how it impacts your area of operations, and you have to adjust them accordingly. But you basically identify and you look at all the potential risk from these items. Okay, it could be a global national threat that is going to impact you locally. I talk about cause and effect. What is the cause and how does it affect you? All right, and that cause and effect and everything that you find, you want to take a sheet that we have already pre-built, and you want to start documenting all of the potential threats that you find, and you need to rack and stack them by priority. How would they impact you, and how would they impact your community? And on your sheet that you've identified, highest priority to lowest priority, you have to then determine how are you going to mitigate all of these different threats to you. Okay, and it takes time. It takes more than one person. It takes a team. Okay, to go through and document them, work on them, determine how you'll mitigate them. And there may be threats that you can't mitigate. So then you got to decide what you're going to do. And if it's something you've decided as a critical resource for your neighborhood or for your home property, you have to then decide how you're going to protect it. You may have to use additional resources using technology or using manpower, depending where you're at. If you're in an urban and suburban area, it may be a higher priority than if you're in a rural area. You got to make that determination, and then from that sheet, you need to build what I call a neighborhood threat matrix. Okay, and the neighborhood threat matrix is a set of steps from day-to-day operations, everything like today is functioning fine, to a level if you've got to lock down your area. Okay, this could be from a threat that you've pre-identified mitigation based off of what you find in your assessment. Then you got to build a neighborhood threat matrix for alerting people. You need a PACE plan for communicating amongst individuals who are in your community on your team. And then you need to build a plan for your community security. Okay, who is where, who has what shift, how you're going to communicate with them, are they on foot, are they mobile, and so forth. Yeah, it's a lot of work, but you got to decide what's it worth to you. Okay, and to be perfectly honest, I laid all these steps and procedures out nearly 4 years ago. And if you have slept through it, then that one's on you, not on me. It is important. Again, if you don't think it's important, ask yourself how many folks in Israel died or was severely injured when the threat came door to door and they called 911, the system that was supposed to be there for them, and no one responded. Wouldn't you rather have a neighbor or someone on the next street over available to respond to your aid immediately versus calling 911 and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and people die and die and die? All right. Again, I can't stress enough the importance of having a community and a community system in place. I have witnessed these atrocities taking place in neighborhoods and communities, from Sarajevo to Bosnia to Kosovo, throughout Africa, and now in Israel, again, where the national system or state system or county system or city system, where there was a threat that occurred and the citizens were left on their own for a while, and had, in all these cases, had they had some form of an alerting system in their community to alert other neighbors, they could have potentially saved some lives and also possibly had a neighborhood response to their aid to help. Now, America's a little bit different than many of these locations in that a lot of the citizens either don't have arm or protection, either because it's poor or the national system does not allow the citizens to be armed. Again, this is why the Second Amendment is so critical to citizens in our country. So, again, it's up to you to develop the system. If you want to put your livelihood in the hands of a system that may or may not respond to your need timely, you're going to have to make that decision. So give it thought. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just showing you, based on lessons learned from an event that occurred, why, again, I need to reinforce the importance of these assessments. Yeah, I know doing the risk assessment is boring, especially if you don't know how to do it and you've never conducted one before. It's boring stuff. It's not as exciting as the fear porn podcasts that are keeping people on the edge of their seats. I know they're out there. I don't listen to them, but I know they're out there because I'm seeing comments on multiple threads that I'm on of people sending out messages scaring everyone to death because of something that's happening half a world away. You can't change it other than praying for it. But you need to be spending time focusing on yourself and your family and your community. Okay? That's where the impact or the effect of the cause is going to bite you in the butt and hurt you the most. Alright? The more you do this, the more self-confidence you're going to have in this process. And it's going to allow you to reaffirm a posture that's going to help you to function day to day. Okay, so you got to decide that. I can't do it for you. I conducted all the work up in the front end, and I've been trying to educate people on this process for multiple years, and now the ball's in your court. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and end this video so it's not overly long. I could have spent an hour or more just on this topic. I can only tell you it's important. You got to decide how important it is to you. What does it mean to you? All right. So if you have any questions, you can email me at preparedness101@protonmail.com. You can go to our website at hopeforsurvival.com. There's lots and lots and lots. There's probably 600 or more articles on preparedness on the website, with additional links to topics and things of that nature. You got to do the work. I can't do it for you. Okay, I've already invested the hours and the time to do the work to lay it out for you, so you're not starting from scratch. So the ball's in your court. All right. So again, if you haven't subscribed, please reach up and hit subscribe. Thank you very much. Share, please share with others, and most importantly, keep preparing. Take these steps, get yourself safe, safer I should say, and don't be afraid, don't live in fear. Do these things now to help build your confidence level, to put yourself in a better position going forward. We don't know what tomorrow brings. Things could ignite basically with the strike of a match. We don't know those things. All right, just be prepared. So till next time, be healthy, be safe, take care. Bravo